all the record companies were coming up to see us, they were all wanting us to sign. Then it all went wrong. We went on tour with Alice Cooper and it all went down really, really badly, and it ended in acrimony, which left me leaving the band, and I thought that was all over. That's what, you only get one chance in this business.
British politics is in disarray. Trust in the people who represent us has never been so low, and many don't even know who their MP is. I've been travelling the country, meeting politicians outside Westminster, getting under their skin, finding out what motivates them, and how they're going to fix the problems we are all facing. Pete Wishart is the SNP MP for Perth, and formerly the keyboardist in Runrig, a Scottish rock band. We met at a local music venue.
You're in the House of Commons and all these cameras are there, so it's like a performance anyway, and you're on live TV all the time. And there's a lot about just rehearsing, practicing, making sure that you're ready to go. It's an unforgiving place, the House of Commons, and I've seen so many examples where people just get overwhelmed by it all, and they're like they've lost the house, as we say, and like everybody starts chatting amongst themselves and they're droning on and like endlessly, and everybody's just wishing they just sit down so we can get back to running the rest of our lives.
Brutal stuff. How did you get into playing the keyboard?
Well, I always had a lifelong passion about music since I was a very young child. From a musical family, sent to the lessons. We've got a home organ in the house, which I cut in half, painted white, and put through a phaser.
Who's your favourite band? Who's your favourite group?
I'm listening a lot to, I love Talking Heads, and myself and my partner went to see them earlier this year when they played the concert hall, and it was David Byrne, and it was just such a brilliant performance. I'm a son of punk, I was 15-year-old in 1977, and I had the Clash album, The Damned and whatever, and I saw the Clash 3 times.
Would you say then, best gig you've ever been to, is that one by the Clash as well, one of those three?
Well, I have to say, it's possibly not all that fashionable to say this. We were very kindly asked on. It was a big turning point for the band to be asked to support U2, and Joshua Tree had just come out and changed music forever. It was now big and it was huge, and that was all right. For a while it was all right anyway, but I watched U2 that day and I just could not believe that music could be so big and so impressive. Here's your little lesson to Scottish loud folk music.
Brilliant, yeah.
So you got your...
Let's talk about politics a little bit then. The SNP famously painted Scotland in a yellow sea in the 2015 election. It was sort of a reckoning, if you like, for Labour. What do you think they're doing wrong in Scotland, the Labour Party?
I think they're on the wrong side of their own constituents, the wrong side of the constitutional question. It's no surprise that the places that we now do best are Glasgow, West Central Scotland, areas where Labour were strongest, because these are also the areas that voted yes in the independence referendum. The Conservatives, they picked up support because they're on the right side. That fits perfectly with their profile and their support. Obviously for the SNP, 45% of people voted for independence. We know that anything between 45 to 50% continue to support independence, so we collect that Labour or nowhere.
When do you think Indie Ref 2 is likely?
It'll only happen when we see that the majority of people of Scotland want this. I don't think we're quite there yet. I think we're getting there. Brexit is a huge disruptor when it comes to not just the politics of the UK, but the politics of the Constitution and independence. And what we've already seen is opinion polls indicating that if there's a no deal or a hard deal Brexit, there'll be a majority for independence in Scotland.
I'll count you in. Yeah. 3, 4.
Oh,
hey!
did it. Come on.
You did, yeah, well done.
Thanks, mate. You guys have been in government at Holyrood for more than 10 years now. Great achievements. Withholding tuition fees, prescription charges would be the two things that jump out to me to a younger audience. But does there not come a point where almost an existential question of, we've been in government for this long, our main aim is to achieve this one objective, and we're not there yet? That must make a party weary.
Well, stand on our record, we're very, very proud of our domestic agenda and the things that we have achieved for this country. But I don't think there's any mistake that the Scottish National Party for about anything is about securing independence for our nation. You know, like we have had a referendum, there will be a second one, but in the meantime we've got to get on with governing this country, and I think we do that particularly ineffectively. We have our detractors, people who will criticise us and scrutinise us, which is necessary in a democracy. It's just as important for us to run Scotland efficiently and effectively as to advocate and perhaps present the opportunities what independence might bring.
Perfect. Thanks, Pete.
My pleasure.
Really appreciate you taking the
Thank
time.
you for that.